Hey guys, welcome to this awesome riff that we're gonna dive into. So this will be the second riff that you're ever learning actually, because the first riff you learned in that Boogie Woogie Basics course, and now you're learning some riffs for your arsenal so that you can actually improvise really solidly, all right? And this is quite the amazing riff because like most riffs that I'm teaching you in a basic manner that's gonna suit your skill level, they are the riffs that you're also gonna build on when you're learning the advanced and pro level riffs as well. So the really flashy ones are also going to use these shapes, especially this one for this riff. Okay, this is the riff we're learning, a little bit easier than what I just played, but the shape here is going to be this one. And as you know from the quick introduction and overview video, you know, riffs are just shapes or patterns, and each shape or riff on the piano has a specific playground, right? So you have, for example, your first riff is in this playground right here, where you can do a lot of stuff, you can create a lot of riffs here. Then there's also going to be this playground here, between these keys here, okay? And you also have this playground, and so on. And that's what we're gonna learn. And today we're gonna be in this playground. So just put your hand here, right? This is the starting point. And what we're playing here, this riff uses a chromatic scale, and chromatic means semitones. So the chromatic scale played from C would be this. As you can see, I'm just going up semitones. So really the most adjacent tone on the whole piano. I'm not skipping any note. You can also go down. Okay, and when you're playing this riff, you're starting from G and E with the first and fifth finger. Okay, we'll get to the rhythm afterwards. Let's just dive into the notes first. So the G and the E, just play that first, and then, as you can see, with both the notes, the one at the top and at the bottom, you're just gonna go down a chromatic tone, so a semitone. So you're going from that E, from a G and E, going to the G flat and E flat. All right. So just rotate between these, and this is already a very, very prominent shape for boogie woogie riffs. This one, and then after going from that G and E to the G flat and E flat, you're going onto the F and D, so another semitone down, right? So just do that with me for a few times. You're keeping the hand distance the same, you're just moving semitones across the piano, right? And then you have one more, not a semitone at the top, but at the bottom again, you know, because from here to here is also a semitone, because there's no black key in between. So chromatically from F onto the E, and from the top you're moving a whole tone because you're skipping the black note, you're moving straight to the C from the D. So you're here, you're going one down. That's the final note of the riff before it repeats, okay? And this riff, when played with the left hand, has a specific timing. It's quite simple actually. And before we move on to the F, the riff in F, because one tone is going to change at the end of the riff when we're playing in F, similarly to this one. Remember when you went from, instead of a slide, when you Similarly, this riff also has one different key, one different tone when you're playing in F. But let's first just do this basic thing. With the rhythm, I'm gonna teach you how to count it with the left hand, all right? So when you're playing with the left hand, it's going to sound like this. So this riff, before it repeats, you're actually playing it over 2 bars. You can look at it that way, because you have 1, 2, 4. That's 2 bars, right? I played that bass line 2 times, each time counting to 4 before starting over at 1 and counting to 4 again. And you're playing on 1, so you're starting together. There's no upbeat, you're starting together. And then again on the 1 of the next beat. Okay, so you're doing, when you're starting, no upbeat, just on the 1. 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so on the 3 comes these, the next tone. I'll do it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Oh, someone just rang my bell. Be there in 1 second. Ich editiere das eh raus dann.
Was ist das denn?
Bisschen Reverb.
Ist ja cool, dieses Setup ist ja, also die Begeisterung, ich muss sagen, Jonah, der Kurs, den ich damals mit dir gebucht habe, which I booked with you, was amazing. Since I've done this, you have helped me so much.
Yeah.
Because before, I was a cunt.
I can't
Now.
use that.
I am.
So the counting of that left hand with the right hand riff goes for 2 bars before you repeat the riff, as we just saw. And you're just gonna now play it with me very slowly. I'm gonna slow down everything, and you're just gonna play it with me so that you can ingrain it and you can start to practice it on your own. And we're just gonna do this for the C. I'm gonna do this for multiple bars, not just 2, just so you can have something to play along to. Slow the video down, repeat it, play it with me just in C, and then we're moving on to F and then to G, and then we're done with the riff. So let's get that going. Remember, it's on the and here, right? That last one. Very important to keep that swing rhythm. You're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay? Now just practice that on your own a little bit with the video. Slow the video down, repeat that section of it. And now I'm going to show you the riff in F, and it's pretty much the same except for one key that changes at the bottom of the riff. So the top note stays the same. Right, we had this. But instead of going on that E at the bottom, you're going to go on that E flat. Same rhythm, same everything, just one note is different. Similarly to the riff that you learned throughout the Boogie Woogie Basics course, the first riff that you learned. There's okay guys, I'll be right back. So just that last tone on the bottom here changes to an E flat. Let's do it solo. Okay, and I would recommend this fingering because the fourth finger is already on the correct key when you're going down. So you don't have to move any fingers, you can just use the fourth on the C here and move your thumb down on that E flat. Okay, so I'm just gonna play that quickly for a few bars on that F chord so you can slow it down and practice with me, all right? How we did in the C as well. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Alright, so slow that down, practice that a little on your own time or with the video. Now we're going to combine it with the right amount of bars. So we got 4 bars on that C, 2 bars on that F, as you know, and the riff before it repeats goes on for 2 bars, right? Because we got the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, and then it repeats the riff. So that's 2 bars. And I'm just going to play that up until we're back on the C after being on the F for those 2 bars, as you know from the 12-bar blues progression. So we got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on that F, and then back on that C. Then we would come to the G, right? And I'll quickly now show you the end of the riff because we're actually going to round it out with the all the time riff that you learned in the Boogie Basics course. Because like most riffs at the end, unless they're a repeat pattern, which you're also learning in the, later on in this riff course. But riffs, they don't repeat for the whole 12 bars. They usually end with that all the time riff at the very end, on that G. And before you initiate that all the time riff, you're doing one little altercation. So when you go on the G, you're playing this chord here, which is a G chord. Alright, and this only applies to that last stage, the 5th stage, so the G. Okay, for 2 bars, and then you do the all the time riff. So you got the okay, so before you change to that G, playing the G chord here like this, which rounds it all nicely, rounds it out nicely, gives it that complete sound that you need. Do it again. So on the 1 of the G, right? Do that one more time. Okay. Do that one more time. And then you do that all the time riff at the very end from the first riff that you also learned. And then you go into this. The most crucial riff in Boogie Woogie, right? And how you're going to connect that is simply after going on that G. Okay, so this is the same shape that you learned already know this riff, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But how to connect it is simply like this. Okay, this might be the hardest part of the whole section because it's always going to be a challenge to learn a new riff and then combine it to round it out at the end with that all the time riff. And you might need to solo practice just that all the time riff again to fresh it up again, you know, with the module in the Boogie Woogie Basics course. Okay, and now I'm going to play through the whole thing with the riff, the whole 12-bar blues progression, and at the end round it out with the all the time riff, so you have, you know, a complete 12-bar blues progression with the new riff. I'm going to play that a few times, and this is for you to, again, slow down, practice with me, and then, of course, also practice in your own time, all right? Okay, I'll do that one more time. You could go into another riff or the chords that we learned, you know, how you learned from how to put it all together from the last module in the Boogie Basics course. All right, so great job on that riff. This is a big one because, as I said, it builds onto the advanced riffs and the pro level riffs as well. Just being in this shape is very important for your hand to ingrain early on so that you can play all the harder riffs later on, but have a way easier time learning them because you're already familiar with this shape, all right? If you have any questions, you know what to do. Write me a message, email, call me, or bring them into one of our one-on-one lessons, or make a post in the community section in the questions tab, you know, record a video, maybe post it in there, and then I can post as well with a video message to answer you and help you out here. Take care. I'll see you next lesson.